Chapter 6. The roof is on fire. Fefir the Barbarian yanked his axe out of the undead skull and looked around. There were still way too many of them. While the skeletons or dead villagers didn't pose too much of a threat, the orcs were different. Even after death, they still remembered how to form a wall of shields, not to mention the fact that they were armed better than the rest. "I'll murder that halfling!" Sarah screamed, shooting arrow after arrow at the incoming skeletons. "They'll never find the body!" "Oi, Jolene, hide!" the innkeeper exclaimed, producing a long rusting sword. "Don't worry, gentlemen, I used to be an adventurer like you." "Did you take an arrow to your knee?" Lemon asked. "No, I got married," the innkeeper replied, swinging the sword and cutting a halfling skeleton in half. "On second thought, an arrow to the knee would have been preferable." Fefir spun the axe, beheading one of the orcs. The head rolled down on the ground, but the rest of the body didn't notice that, still attacking the barbarian. Fefir groaned, kicking the orc, who finally dropped to his knees, looking for his head until one of Sour's arrows finished him off. "We need to hide inside the inn," Gamork said, throwing a vial of acid at the attackers. "Then they can make it for a fortress." "Fortress for a last stand?" Sour asked. "Also, where's Grey Master? I need to kill him before they kill us." "I need to get my pony," Lemon exclaimed. "Wait, your pony survived the Shul attack?" Fafir asked. "Yes, in my luggage." Sour rolled her eyes. "That's not how ponies work, you know." "Whatever!" Lemon shouted. Seducing doesn't work on undead, right?" "The relevant organs no longer work." Fafir hit one of the executioner's assistants in the crotch with his axe. "Or sometimes you don't have them." "If only I could use fire tornado," Lemon muttered. "Maybe I'll try." "This won't work!" Sarah exclaimed. The orcs nearly surrounded her, was slowly running out of arrows. She threw a knife at one of them, but it only slowed him down. "We better get inside, come up with a plan." "Roll for the inn!" The innkeeper stood alongside Fefir with his sword, saying, "I'll stop him!" "How long?" "Long enough." The innkeeper spun in place, hitting two orcs. When they were swinging a sword, he crushed the skeleton's skull. But more and more, the enemies charged down. Fefir was the last to flee, having gotten a spear in the arm, but the innkeeper still stood, wounded. He let out a battle cry, charging at the incoming enemies as he was going to bring them all down. He was instantly proven wrong. A blow of an orc sword chopped his arm off, and when he dropped to his knees, the undead immediately overwhelmed him, thrusting towards the end. Fefir closed the door, barricading him with one of the tables. Still, the old planks barely survived the first hit by the oncoming mass of horde zombies. More hits followed. The barbarian held the door, but it was clear it wouldn't last long. "What now?" Gamork asked. "The innkeeper's dead and we're surrounded here. And of course, we'll fight once he gets inside. Great Mouse, of course, is hiding under the table." "Where?" Sarah exclaimed. She rushed to the table, grabbing the halfling and dropping on the counter and aiming one of her knives at his eye. "Okay, little shit, I'm going to give you a choice. Which body should I cut off first?" "I won't help you if I'm dead," the Grey Mouse muttered. "Maybe I can still control him, you know." "Until the next time you fail at that," Sarah said, "I may destroy you too, you little..." A little help here?" Fafir asked. The door already had several holes, the undead putting their hands in them. The barbarian managed to cut some of them off, but it was clear the inn wouldn't hold much longer. "I could throw a halfling down," Sarah asked. Lemon stood up. "That's it," she said. "I'm trying to fire tornado." "Well, will you do this?" Fefir replied, slamming his axe into the faces of my dead. "Unless you get some epic dice roll or something." "I'm going to try." Gamork rested his ears. "In case you fail, I'm taking my best." "Okay," Lemon smirked. Pass me the dice." Twilight shook her head and sighed. "Okay. I'll let you try. Just this once. Also, if you fail this roll, your situation will improve. I guarantee that." "Whatever." Lemon grabbed the dice and rolled them across the table. "I can't be worse than Sugarcoat when it comes to bad rolls." Twilight looked at the dice and eyes widened. "Well, actually, you succeeded, somehow." Super nodded. "So, when the inn surrounded by zombies, but now it's on fire?" "The zombies are on fire too," Lemon replied. "So that's good. I think." The inn was on fire. The front wall already collapsed, letting the undead inside. Lemon ran across the room, surrounded by the blazing aura of a fire tornado. trying to ignite as many enemies as he could. Fafnir the Barbarian let out a battle cry, swung the battle axe into a skull of another undead, spraying the bits of bone and brain around them. Stop it! Fafnir shouted, yanking the axe out. I have no fire resistance! If that's any consolation, this damn halfling doesn't either. Sarah aimed her bow, shooting one of the undead in the throat. It didn't phase him at all, though. The pale silhouette charged down, swiftly avoiding the fire in Fafnir's axe. Do something! Screamed Alistair, left forgotten by Sarah, yelled from under the table, watching as the undead warrior shrugged off all of Sarah's arrows, burying his fangs and hissing out. What? Fafnir asked. It's your army, isn't it? You're the undead expert here. Not mine anymore, the halfling exclaimed. Also, where's Gamork? Here I am! Gamork dashed from downstairs, holding a barrel in her hands. She rushed at the undead, hurling the barrel in the direction. That's a teasum! What's in the barrel? Sarah asked. While seized the barrel, knocked her opponent down, rolled further, catching fire. You know, stuff. Gamork shrugged. I mean, this probably shouldn't. The barrel hit the well, breaking and falling apart. Then, without any warning, the inn exploded. Twilight looked at her dice and her notes on the table. Okay, this went better than expected, she said. Indigo, you wake up on the tree far away from the inn. Most of your equipment is scattered along the way, but you're also down to 1 hit point, so you better watch out. Just great, Indigo muttered. So am I the only survivor? I need to find a party to continue the mission, I guess. It's not that bad, Twice replied. When you regain consciousness, you see a really sour elf, her clothes torn and burned, staggering around half-consciously. I'd rather not look, Indigo muttered. If I'm down to 1 half hit point, seeing a half-naked elf may kill me. Don't worry. She's bleeding and looks definitely unsexy, with a piece of broken beam sticking out of her thigh. The only piece of wood that ever ended up in her, Lemon chuckled. Shut up, Sarah muttered. Where's Sugarcoat? I need to check she's fine, and put her out of her misery. You probably won't have the chance, Twilight replied. Charlie also survived, is taking care of her. Cece's lost an eye, but should be fine. What about me? Sadie asked. I mean, I did want to make a run for the window, but I have short legs and you're unconscious, lying under the bodies of 2 dead orcs, Twilight said. Derver smirked. New TV show coming soon. 2.5 bucks. I hope you're not going to become a comedian, Sunny Deadpan. Hey, it was fine, Sugarcoat said. Also, at least Lemon got rid of all those undead. Let's get together and we can... Well, Lemon's dead, Twilight said. What? Lemon asked. How am I dead? Well, you were in the middle of a fire tornado when Sunny threw a barrel of gunpowder at it, Twilight replied. You're pretty much all over the place. Oh, come on, Lemon exclaimed. Sugarcoat failed to roll. I got an awesome roll and I died while she's alive. How did this happen? Twilight shrugged. Well, the dice demanded a sacrifice, I guess. I'm going to sacrifice Sugarcoat to them! Lemon stood up. Indigo shot grabbed her, pulling her away from Sugarcoat. Hey, chill out, Indigo said. Violence is not the answer. Yeah, that, Sugarcoat said. I mean, it's not my fault Lemon decided to use magic that's well beyond her level. So did you. Yes, but necromancer's a normal thing. A fire tornado is a homebrew spell, Sugarcoat replied. Of course there's going to be punishment, so you should... Shut up, Sugarcoat, or I'll let Lemon go, Sarah muttered. I might let her go for fun. Indigo shot and shrugged. Hey! Sunny exclaimed. No fighting in my house. Yeah, exactly. Sugarcoat stood up. Violence is never the... Ah! She screamed when Lemon put her to the ground. Why did you let her go? Twilight asked. While she said trying to separate Lemon and Sugarcoat. The only result she received was getting elbowed by Lemon and punched by Sugarcoat, proceeding to yank each other's hair. Indigo shrugged. It's like hockey fights. Lemon has to get rid of the negative energy to achieve Zen or something. She went to Juniper. It's called Zen, right? Yes. Juniper replied. Well, first time I see someone mixing it with hockey, but I guess that's how you'll roll. Yeah, I guess we'll finish for today. Twilight shook her head, watching the fight. Wasn't much of a fight anymore. Once Sunny managed to regain her breath, she finished it by grabbing a katana from her closet. This alone was enough for Lemon and Sugarcoat to realize it was time to run for their lives. Sunny with anything sharp was a danger to anyone, including, unfortunately, herself. Definitely, Sunny said. Well, meet once Lemon has a new character and everyone learns not to behave like a baboon, found a plane full of cocaine that crashed in Gurney and Tungle. So he swung the katana and accidentally cut herself in the leg. Ouch! Do I have to get a tetanus shot again? No, Sarah replied. You need only one every 10 years. Also, baboons live in Africa, Twilight said. Not to mention all the South American countries. You chose the one with almost no forest. Happens to the best of us. Sunny shrugged. Still, Lemon needs a new character. She looked at her leg again. Wait, is that blood? I already have an idea, Lemon said, ignoring the fact that Sunny passed out. It took a minute to catch her before she fell to the ground. I mean, the innkeeper star survived, right? Yes, Twilight replied. Lemon's eyes lit up. Oh, this is gonna be fun. The shopping mall was pretty crowded, although the store Twilight and Sunset went to wasn't exactly filled with people. Twilight looked around, furrowing her eyebrows, and saw Sunset glare. I don't get it, Twilight, she said. Why are we checking out, lingerie? When you called me, you mentioned timber and something about a gift. Sunset shrugged. You woke me up, so I may have gotten the details wrong. Twilight sighed. I said that Timber called, telling me it's Gloria's birthday soon. I mean, I could technically buy her some sexy lingerie, but I'm not sure how she would take it. Oh, Sunset smiled sheepishly. Yeah, I guess that'd be kind of awkward. Not to mention that we don't know, I say, the exact size. She shrugged. Well, the problem is, I have no idea what else I could buy her, Twilight said. It's easier to think of what not to buy her, like a trip to the spa, or a new edition of Kill It and Grill It, or... That sounds like something more for Applejack, Sunset chuckled. As for Gloriosa, Hey! She staggered when someone bumped into her, rushing towards Twilight. Hey, Twilight! Lemon exclaimed. I finally found you. Do you know your phone doesn't work? You didn't pick any of my calls. Well, if you did try to call me at 3 a.m., Twilight sighed. What do you want? I came up with a backstory for Charlene, Lemon replied, opening her backpack and producing a large pile of papers from it. I mean, her father was an adventurer before becoming an innkeeper, right? So, when he was an adventurer, he actually met a female Wu-Jin mystic, and you can read about the rest here, she smirked, with details and stuff. Do I want to know? Sunset asked. I mean, Juniper mentioned someone called Charlene in one of her more cryptic tweets recently, but I assume she went full Hollywood and got high or something. Trust me, you don't, Twilight replied. Remember that one time we were playing that game where Rarity and Rainbow Dash got into a fight over who killed the dragon? You said you had something similar at home, didn't you? Ogres and oubliettes, yeah, Sun said, nodding. Though I liked it more when we let Pinky be a GM and played that one with vampires at a tile. You know, when we all played as murderous vampire clowns and it turned out Pinky's plan was to lure us into some sort of clown-themed orgy. We agreed not to speak of this ever again, Twilight muttered. As for you, Lemon, yeah, I guess I'll take a look at it. One day, will Sunny ever let us come to her house again? Not exactly, Lemon replied. But we can meet Saturday at my place, you know. That's great, Twilight said. I guess. Cool. Lemon smirked. Oh, by the way, if you buy something here, you can put it on when you come to me. Twilight face palmed. Lemon! I like Sunny's basement. Oh, by the way, that previous session, that's a lesson in what we call pay attention to your skills, people. Lemon's room was bright and spacious, lit by numerous lamps resembling Chinese lanterns. Its brick walls were reminding the visitors that before being turned into a loft apartment, the place used to be a sawmill. When Twilight wanted size, she counted at least 3 guitars and a keyboard. She suspected there were more instruments in the large closet, although her friends had other ideas. There's no giant singing head inside, right? Sunny asked, putting on a football helmet she found lying on Lennon's bed and sitting by the keyboard. I don't know what you're talking about, Lennon replied. We had to get rid of the closet, Sarah said. There wasn't enough space after the twins got born. That's why we're at my place, not yours. Lennon opened the closet with As I suspected, contained some more instruments, including a mandolin, assortment of various drums, and a trumpet, as well as some completely random items like a tennis racket and a large collection of beer bottles. So I couldn't remember seeing ever seen Lemon playing tennis. Indigo sat in a beanbag chair, looked around Lemon's room. I'm getting uncomfortable vampire-related flashbacks, she said, looking into the bag she brought with herself. Does anyone want some red curry from the new Thai place? Did you decide to check out every single restaurant in this town before we end the campaign? Sugarcoat asked. Indigo shrugged. But for me, then. I didn't say I don't want curry. Sugarcoat rolled her eyes and grabbed a plastic container from Indigo's bag. It's both a fantasy adventure and a culinary one. Speaking of which, I hope you're not allergic to shrimp, Indigo said. Surprisingly not, Sugarcoat replied. Those who hope for a trip to the ER may express their disappointment now. Sunny turned to the keyboard and played the first 4 notes that, as far as you could tell, resembled the sound drum on the most. Okay, you ready to start? Twilight asked. Juniper says he'd be late, but since Lemon took over Charlene's character, we won't need her for a while. Yeah, we can start, Lemon said. By the way, did you read that backstory? I didn't finish it yet, Twilight replied. Lemon smirked. Good. I can't believe we're doing this, Fafnir muttered, looking at the black robe. Far too small for him. Not to mention he couldn't quite hide all of his weapons under it. While defeating them with force encountered difficulties, Mouser muttered. The halfling was the only one without a disguise, although his black robe was indistinguishable from the robes they had picked after a fight with the cultists. Still, he used the fabric from one of the spare robes to make himself an eye patch. We need to be sneaky. As if anyone's gonna believe I'm a drow, Sour muttered. Accident knows could join the cult, I guess, Gummark replied, but I'm going to ask our cultist expert. We turned to Charlene, who shrugged and looked at a pointy Lyra heartstrings, who somehow survived the undead attack without scratch. Ironic, Sour muttered. The only person who basically lives near those cultists and could tell us more about them is a damn mute. Charlene sighed. It showed Sour what she thought of her with a middle finger. Guess her father taught her some sort of sign language, Indigo said. We could ask her father, but there's not much of him left, Grey Mouser muttered, climbing up the hill. What else is cultist's camp? I can't see it from here. Try with the other eye, Sour muttered. Also, what kind of sign language? It's freaking Middle Ages. Fafnir smirked. Back in our mountain village, we had a mute warrior who used gestures. I might try and see if they worked. Did you come up with that yourself, or was it a dice roll? Sour asked. Wait, who am I kidding? Fafnir turned to Charlene, who made a few wide gestures. Charlene gestured back. Tell the fucking elf bitch that I'll stick one of her arrows up her arse when she falls asleep. Fafnir smirked. She doesn't like you, Sour Elf. You're making this up, don't you? Sour asked. Gummark aside. Ask her about the cultists. Suddenly looked at the half-orc, made a few more gestures. Dad never let me try to seduce him. Not that they were interested. Her father didn't want cultist grandkids, Fafnir said. You're just making this up. Sour rolled her eyes. I can make gestures like this too, she waved her hands. Careful, Fafnir muttered. That's offensive to both goats and halflings. Grey Master returned to Sour. What did you just say? I have no idea. For the sake of our sanity, let's assume that the barbarian understands what the girls say and move on. Gummark said. I'm even going to convince the cultists that we're their friends. With sass and hand gestures. Sour rolled her eyes and swung her hands randomly. No, I don't think goats can do that, Fafnir said. Also, Charlie asked, why do you keep talking about goats? Well, maybe they smell like our house, Charlie gestured. Dose low, Fafnir chuckled. Guess we'll do better if we find some cultists ourselves. Assuming we don't get killed by chills or other shit. Sarah muttered. If there's a cultist camp nearby, there probably won't be any, Grey Master said. They'd probably scare him away somehow. Or they'd possibly cooperate. Never that no but sure food, Gummark said. Fafnir shook his head. Always an optimist. After a few hours of wandering down the valley, getting closer and closer to the mysterious rock, Sarah finally saw the smoke coming from behind a small hill. She produced a bow, just in case the camp was guarded, but then she remembered you were supposed to be one of them. Still, she decided to keep the bow ready, just in case something went wrong. However, everything was going smoothly. The camp was indeed guarded, although Sarah managed to spot the guards before they spotted her, merely because they turned out to be a pair of halflings. "Welcome, brothers and sisters." One of the halflings raised his hand when a group emerged from the bushes in front of them. His black robe was dirty. Sarah demanded by traces at least 10 meals on it. He was also smoking a pipe as he was staring at a companion. "I don't think I know you guys. Are you from Herzen's group?" "No, not really," Sarah replied. "Good," the other halfling said. "Herzen is pretty pissed since some of the bunch of tramps kicked the Tandra's groups called at devices. He said that if he finds some tramps, he'll skin them." "Really toughy guys, those drows," the first halfling shrugged. "No wonder," his friend said. "Did you hear what they did to Gandra? They cut off his legs and blew his head to smithereens." "Oh, Hudson doesn't have to bother anymore," Sarah said. "The Jules ate those guys. We even stole a pony from them." "Nice," the halfling said. "Hudson will be glad to hear that once he comes back for patrol. What are your names, brothers and sisters?" "Really," Sarah said. "Also known as the Sour Elf," Fafnir smirked. "I'm Fairfear, the former barbarian, who decided to find solace in religion." "Gumork here, same here," Gumork said. "Greymouser," Greymouser muttered, hiding behind Fafnir, "and this is Sarlene." "Finian Father Service," the first halfling said. "Period Tusco, Finian's second cousin," the other halfling said, introduced himself. "What brought you here? Finian and I never thought we'd join the cult. I mean, not after." "Wait." Finian furrowed his eyebrows and looked at Greymasters. "Johnny Sackfield Baggins? Is that you? I don't recognize you with that eye patch." "Oh, shit!" Greymaster cleared his throat, smiled sheepishly. "Finian, long time no see. Nice to see you found the light of, whatever our new guy is called." Perry stood up, crossing his arms. "Well, I find it surprising to see you here. After you sacrificed little Shania Teely to Tharizdun, if I recall quickly, we were supposed to burn you, but this guy fucked up and..." He paused to look at Fafnir. "Oh. Fucking halflings," Sarah muttered, kicking Perrin Toskable in the face. He dropped to the ground unconscious, while Fafnir smacked Finian, sending him flying. The halfling landed in the thorny bushes a few yards away, and rolled on the ground where he lay unconscious. "Do they kill them?" Gamark asked. "Nah, it doesn't seem right," Fafnir said. "Then what do we do?" Greymaster asked. "It's going to be hard to explain that to the other cultists." Sarah smirked. "Trust me." The camp consisted of a couple of tents standing around a campfire. Most of the cultists were sitting or lying around it, waiting for the food to cook. Only some of them noticed rarely the Sour Elf as he walked to the camp, waving dramatically in the wind. So he was followed by Fafnir, who was carrying two unconscious halflings, each one of them in one hand. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Sour exclaimed, kicked in the nearest cultist. "What is it? A camp or a fucking school trip? Where's Hirazun? I decided to speak to him." "He's hunting the people who killed Sandra's group," one of the cultists replied. Sarah rolled her eyes. "You wanted to say, tries to fake Sandra's fuck-ups, right? In the meantime, while Seed's surrounded by enemies, you're chilling out, leaving only Mr. Teapot and Mr. Tosspot's guards?" She pointed to Fafnir, who tossed the halflings on the ground. "They're volunteered," a tough cultist said. "Because no one else could be ours to guard the camp?" Sarah pointed at Charlene. "She's one of the members of the inner circle, very angry, you know. When she starts to yell at you, you better not be here." "You have an inner circle?" one of the cultists asked. "Of course we do," Greymaster exclaimed. "This isn't a proper cult without one." "Why haven't we been told about it?" another cultist exclaimed. "It's supposed to be kept in secret, but you're a bunch of idiots," Sarah replied. "When will Harrison come back? I don't want to talk with you idiots, but with him and him alone." "His group is searching the swamps," the cultist said. "Horace says at night chills get crazy in there." "Oh, Jules actually claimed your adventurers," Sarah said. "Only this pony survived." "I don't know." The cultist by the campfire stood up. He was a tiefling, though slightly bigger and less human-like than Lemon. "They managed to crush Chandra's group and almost blow up her ass. I don't think they get eaten by Jules just like that." Isn't it a little bit too intelligent for a cultist? Charlie Joseph feared. If he keeps doing that, he'll either join the inner circle, or the jig is up, and wake up with Sour's arrow in his ass. Fear struck me a short gesture that meant leave no survivors, in barbarian battle language. Well, let's wait for Harrison and see if it's any better. Sour rolled her eyes and sat by the campfire. You better hurry, or else he's gonna be really angry. She looked at Charlene. And before he comes, we're gonna eat something, Grey Mouser smirked, looking at the cauldron hanging above the campfire. The door to Lemon's room opened and Juniper walked in. Hi, guys, she said. Nice place, Lemon. Do you have a giant singing head in your closet? Lemon furrowed her eyebrows. Why do people keep asking me about that? Okay, now I feel old. Juniper sighed. I had to remember this song when it came out. So does anyone here, except for Lemon, it seems, the girl said, in the shower? Horizon. Sour looked at Juniper at her lips. We've been waiting for you. I'm fine, thanks for asking. Juniper looked around nervously, turned to Twilight. What's wrong with her? She whispered. She got into role-playing, Twilight replied. You're Horizon now. Deal with it. You know, the Phyllis leader? I see. No one's going to ask me about the casting. Juniper rolled her eyes. How was the casting? Indigo asked. Bad. Turns out I was mistaken when it came to the genre. Also, there are actually things I won't do for money, you know. Juniper said, not many of them, but still. After reading the manga it gave me, I doubt it, Sunny replied. Every day I come for ski jumping and stay for suicide, cross-dressing, and loto-hecadedrons. Isn't that like every manga layer? Indigo asked. No, most of them don't have ski jumping. Yeah, Juniper smirked. I'm supposed to do Horizon, right? Lemon chuckled. Well, if you don't mind the audience. I usually don't, but Juniper bluffed. Well, now I think about it, this sounded much better in my head. I'm sure it's because of the casting, Sugarcoat replied. But you could do Horizon if you please. Just don't overact. Don't want Shower to sue him. Juniper cleared the throat. All right. Let's do this.